Every single day, there's this invisible war being fought online. And what's at stake? Well, it's our most valuable asset, our data. Today, we're going to take a tour of that digital battlefield so we can really get a handle on the rules, the players, and the weapons they're using. Okay, let's jump right in. And look, this isn't some abstract, far off conflict. No, this is happening right now on your phone, in your email inbox, on every single service you use. So the real question we have to ask is, in this invisible war that's being fought for your data, what's really on the line? All right, so before we can really understand the fight, we've got to understand the battlefield itself. So let's start with the basics, the fundamental rules of engagement that pretty much define the entire world of cybersecurity. First up, we've got the threat. Now, this is basically the who or the what that could cause all the trouble. We're talking about a lone hacker, maybe a super sophisticated government group, or it could even be just a piece of automated software. It's the potential for danger. But a threat is only a problem if it has a way to get in, right? And we call that opening a vulnerability. It's any kind of weakness, a flaw, or a gap in the defenses. The easiest way to think about it is like an unlocked door or an open window in your digital house. So we have a threat, and we have a vulnerability. The exploit is the how. It's the specific tool or the special technique that the threat uses to crawl through that open window. It's like the custom-made key that just happens to fit the lock on that unsecured door. And when you put it all together, you get the absolute core concept of this whole field: risk. See, risk is the actual real-world chance of damage that exists when a threat has an exploit for a vulnerability. This simple little formula, this is what keeps security professionals up at night. Okay, now that we've got the basic lingo down, let's meet one side of this conflict, the attackers. We're going to take a look at who they are and the playbook they use to go on the offense. Attackers, or what the pros call threat actors, they come in all shapes and sizes. You've got your classic black hat hacker who's usually in it for the money. Then you have these advanced persistent threats, or APTs. These are the big leagues, often state-sponsored groups playing the long game, hiding inside a network for months, sometimes even years. And then, maybe the most clever of all is the social engineer. They don't hack computers, they hack people, using manipulation to get what they want. So what's the weapon of choice for most of these actors? Well, it's malware. It's really just a catch-all term for any software that's designed to do bad things, from stealing your data to shutting down entire networks. It's the digital ammo on this battlefield. And believe me, the arsenal is incredibly varied. You've got ransomware, which locks up all your files or a whole hospital's systems and demands a huge payment. Spyware secretly sits on your machine and just watches everything you do. A Trojan horse is sneaky, it pretends to be a legit program to get you to let it in. And a worm is fascinating. It can copy itself and spread across a network all on its own. But one of the simplest and honestly still one of the most effective attacks out there is phishing. This is when an attacker pretends to be someone you trust. Your bank, your boss, a brand you like, and they send you a message trying to trick you. Their whole goal? To get you to click a bad link, or even worse, hand over your password. It's so effective because it preys on human trust, not just a technical flaw. Okay, so that's the offense. Pretty scary stuff. But for every single attacker out there, there's a defender. So now, let's flip the script and look at the other side of the conflict. The people, the strategies, and the tech that make up the defender's shield. So on the front lines, you've got two key teams. The blue team, those are the defenders. They're the ones building the walls, watching for threats, and jumping into action when an attack happens. But to keep them on their toes, organizations use a red team. These are ethical hackers who are paid to think and act like the enemy, constantly launching simulated attacks to find the weak spots before the real bad guys do. A really crucial philosophy in modern defense is something called defense in depth. And the main idea is actually pretty simple. No single defense is ever going to be perfect. So instead of building one giant perfect wall, you build a fortress with lots and lots of different layers of security. That way, if an attacker gets past one layer, there's another one right there waiting for them. So what do those layers actually look like? Well, out on the perimeter, you've got a firewall, which acts like a bouncer, controlling who gets in and out of the network. Then, inside the network, you have intrusion detection systems. Think of them as patrol guards looking for anything suspicious. And finally, right on your device, your laptop, your phone, that's the endpoint. And you've got things like antivirus software protecting it directly. But here's the thing about this battle. It never stands still. It is constantly evolving. So for our last section, let's look ahead at some of the really powerful, forward-thinking tools and strategies that are shaping the future of this whole digital conflict. One of the most powerful shields we have is encryption. At its heart, it's the art of writing in a secret code. It takes your normal readable data, called plain text, and it scrambles it into something totally unreadable, called ciphertext. Without the secret key, all your sensitive info is just complete gibberish to an attacker. Another absolute game changer is multi-factor authentication, or MFA. And you've probably used this yourself. Think about it. A password is just one factor. It's something you know. MFA adds more layers, like something you have, your phone, or something you are, like your fingerprint. It's like needing a key and a secret handshake to get in. It makes a stolen password almost useless. This quote right here perfectly captures a huge shift in security thinking called zero trust. The old way of doing things was trust but verify, which basically assumed that anything already inside the network was probably safe. Zero trust completely flips that on its head. It assumes no one and nothing is trustworthy by default, and it demands strict proof of identity for every single request to access anything, period. So we've toured the digital battlefield, we've met the players, and we've looked at their weapons. And while this whole thing is obviously really complex, the fundamentals are actually pretty clear. And that leaves us with one final question. And it isn't for some big company, it's for you. Now that you understand the terrain, what's one step you're going to take to strengthen your own digital shield? Thanks for joining us.